Daniel, tell me about comedians. When they get on stage, what do they got to do quickly?
We have to make you laugh quickly, or else why are we there?
Right? And comedians, they make sure that that first joke is killer, right? They almost have a guaranteed joke to open up every time. Is that not true? And usually it's observational. I know Louis Anderson had one back when he was on Carson. This is years and years ago, but he'd come on and be like, "Sorry, I can't stay long. I'm in between meals."
Right.
Right?
Yeah, the
Boom.
perfect example of an opener is what they call it. You always got to have your, they say oftentimes your second best joke is your opener and your best joke is your closer. And everything else, you got them by then. But having a strong opener is so important because you need to establish your value as a comedian quickly.
And the other piece I always think about in business and in sales is comedians can get up there and get right to work because the MC introduced them. What's the MC's job, Daniel? When a comedian first goes on stage, what's the MC's job?
Right. The MC is establishing the comedian's credibility, giving their credits, introducing them, telling you what you might know them from, or just that they're a funny person at the very least. Tell me they're funny, even though everyone says that.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine a comedian getting on stage without an MC? Hello, my name is Daniel Reskin. Let me tell you about my credits. Let me tell you why you should listen to me. But that's what salespeople do all the time.
That's incredibly awkward
all the time.
Put it like that. Oof. Yeah, I don't envy you for having to be your own MC.
That's it. So these are the things that salespeople need to think about when you want to be like a comedian, when you want to take the best practices and the techniques from comedians to be a better salesperson, you have to get to it. So for B2B sales, this is the most generic customer-facing sales process. A lead comes in, you do some type of discovery. There's either demo if it's software or some type of proposal if you're professional services, contract, closed won. What's basically happening and what the trend is for sales in the end of 2023 going into 2024 is you need to be able to provide value. So if you are a founder or a business owner, not only do you want to make these very distinct phases where you have to close in micro commitments, right? So to get from lead to discovery, something has to happen. Before you can do a proposal or demo, discovery phase has to happen. This makes sense. Most of my CEOs and founders understand you close in phases, you get a micro commitment. If you're doing it right, by the time you get to contract, you're 80 to 90% of the way there and it's closed. What I want to talk about though, is when we're talking about value and we're talking about the way comedians provide value, what so many founders and CEOs and especially salespeople are missing is not what's in it for you. What do you need to do to get the client or your prospect across the finish line? But what is in it for them? So I wrote down here, what is the value for your prospect in every single phase of the sales process? So you're not wasting their time. Here's how you need to think about it. What value can you bring your prospect during every interaction where they are better off for having spent time with you, whether they choose to buy from you or not? Think about that for a second. Time is our most precious resource. Time is the reason why your prospects ghost you. Time is why your prospects won't, when you cold call, they won't get on the phone with you because they think it's going to be selfish. They think it's going to be about you, not about them, and they don't want to spend that time. So my challenge to you, CEOs, founders, salespeople, what is the value to your prospect in discovery, whether they take the next step and buy from you or not? Sometimes that could be giving them trends, insights that they don't know about, or maybe even insights that you see in a vertical that they're not aware of yet. Especially another favorite way to provide value in discovery is bring some type of subject matter expert, bring some type of super smart resource that can answer some questions, give them some free information. Proposal stage or demo, make sure this demo is solving their problems. If you're giving a proposal like we talked about before, don't front load it with a bunch of BS about here's how many offices we had, here's our core competencies, here's how many awards we've won. Like, nobody cares. Open up your presentation with something engaging. Open up your presentation with what we saw, low-hanging fruit, recommendations. That's giving them value, whether they decide to buy or not. All that other crap that you're front loading about you, put it in the appendix. Maybe you show it, maybe you don't. So then by the time you get to contract, this is one, and then you move on. Again, the trend in B2B sales right now is what is the value to your prospect in every single interaction, regardless of whether or not they buy from you. Is that trends? Is that insights? Is that low-hanging fruit? Is that free advice? Is that free advice from you? Is that free advice from a subject matter expert? This is absolutely the way to build your brand, even if you're not closing the deals, which I hope you do, because it's going to keep them engaged. But even if it's not, build the brand, have them come back to you, build your reputation. This is the right way to sell.